My name's Andy Soper, and I work with sexually exploited children. At some point I had to reevaluate the question, is everything getting better? Or does power win? Somebody asked me this morning, what drives me? Is it the carrot or the stick? And I said it's neither. It's my will that pushes me forward. And so when I feel that I've allowed my will to break, that's failure for me. I had the blessing of having a mom that really loved Elton John and the Beatles. So every day in every way things are getting better and better. It was actually something that she tried to instill in us. She worked at a DV shelter and seeing women and children come in the middle of the night. And it was just my mom, my sister, and I when I was a kid. So my sister and I would sleep in the beds until someone would show up, and then we'd quick make them and go back. So I always had this sense of to do right, to be honorable, to speak up for those who can't, or for whatever reason, right? But at the same time, I've always had this fear that something detrimental is going to happen, and I don't really know where that comes from. So it's been this battle of everything's getting better, and yet something awful is just on the cusp. I got married young, we had kids, and I went to graduate school for popular culture studies at Bowling Green State. My wife and I had all this school debt. I mean, what job do you get with a pop culture degree? It's a great program, but no job. And I decided to join the Army. 3 weeks after I graduated with my master's, I went into basic training. You're on the bus with the captain of the platoon or whatever, and he's kind of psyching you out, like this is the calm before the storm. And you see Full Metal Jacket, and you think you know what's going on. It's chaotic. People are running, grabbing your bags, trying to get in line. You're getting yelled at, and that's not a big deal. Like, everything was fine for maybe the first hour. And then they're like, all right, everybody inside. We run in, put our bags in the room, and then everything just turned. It was, they were actually videotaping it. The drill sergeants that we were with were videotaping it. It turned from physical, where they might put their hands on you to direct, to violent. Kids are getting thrown around, kids are getting punched. And I was looking around at these other kids that were just terrified, right? Every time we're inside, someone's getting thrown to the ground, someone's getting thrown into a wall locker, somebody's getting hit, kicked while you're on the ground. I was coming up the stairs, and there's this drill sergeant standing at the top of the stairs, and I didn't know protocol, what I was supposed to ask to walk by, and you were evidently. And he grabbed me and he threw me right off the ground, across this stairwell and then down some stairs, and I felt something in my back pop, and I thought, that's not right. And I felt the tingles go down my legs, and I remember just being terrified. But that first night, my back was just killing me, and my legs hurt, and I was terrified. I'd been hit and kicked and watched all these other kids around me, and I'm laying there in the top bunk, and I thought, I gotta get out of here. This is just gonna keep going. And I thought, I gotta get out of here. That's all I could think of. How do I get out of this mess? I should have never joined the Army. And I thought, my back is killing me, and I can finish it right now. I can permanently injure myself, and it'll be over. So I scoot to the edge, and I thought about it for a minute, like, am I just being weak? This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to take care of my family, and my wife was pregnant. We had another one on the way, and I thought, do I really want to end it? And thought about it, and I was so scared that I just pushed. And I remember seeing my mom standing at the door of this DV shelter with this, when you're 7, everybody seems big, but it seemed like a really big drunk guy looking for his family. And where the fuck's my family? Where's my wife? And my mom saying, boy, he looks pretty upset. Why don't we just call the police and we'll help you find him? And they'd get mad and they'd leave. And even when I was on the edge of that bed, I thought about my mom speaking up for people that couldn't, and I knew the kids around me weren't going to say anything, and I didn't say anything. Some of the drills went to jail, some of them got court-martialed out, in and out of court over the next few months, flying back to Fort Knox from Michigan, testifying, being called a liar, once very clearly called a coward by the defense attorney. And I knew that he was right, but it was the wrong reason. I wasn't a coward because I hurt myself. I'm ashamed of that. I was a coward because I didn't say something sooner. At some point I had to reevaluate the question, is everything getting better? Or does power win? this year, this past February, was the first time in almost 10 years, 9 years now, that I didn't mark February 3rd on the calendar, which is big. I didn't even think about it this year, but I do still think about it. Every time I work with a kid or see something slightly off kilter, it just flat out reminded me that failure to be silent and let this happen, let other people be hurt. I knew I'd never let it happen again.